I think one of the most interesting aspects of the encounter in my life has been the just undeniable sense of the provisional quality of ordinary reality, ordinary constructed reality, and correspondingly a great sensitivity to those, let's call them cracks in reality, those places in one's own perception, or certainly in terms of, mediated ideas of what's going on, where things kind of break down, and so you get a glimpse of what's kind of behind the curtain. And I think in a lot of ways that's it's a story too. It's an idea that you can find in mythology. This idea of there being something behind the curtain of Maya, or when you finally see the great and terrible Oz, and you pull back the curtain, and it's just this little man with these little levers. That there's something about that sense of the provisional quality of things. But associated with that, I think in terms of spirituality, the most significant thing for me is the absolute kind of conviction that it makes complete sense to me that people would take their whole lives to prepare for the moment of death. That what happens at death is of extraordinary importance, even if it is nothing but 12 seconds of our brain shutting down. That even if all that happens is that our brain goes out, that going out is essentially the last judgment, that going out is the recall of all reality, and that one needs to be prepared for that it's not just granted you to be able to withstand that degree of intensity, of power, of richness, of fear, of emotion, and that the greatest gift I think that psychedelics have is their ability to model or to suggest or to gesture towards something like a kind of run through of such an ending. Maybe it ends up not being like it at all, and we're like, ha ha, it's just it's just a hoot, but it doesn't feel that way. And I think that that is at least as much a signature of DMT or ayahuasca as it is of other powerful psychoactives, is a certain confrontation with the reality of another space on the other side of the veil. My own tendency is not to invest things like that with very much belief. To stay open, to not simply throw up a wall of believing that it's all my own mind, but that nonetheless I don't personally find it very nourishing to build kind of castles out of the sand of these extraordinary experiences. So much, for me, it's more about a kind of exposure. It's more about an existential encounter that trains one for other sorts of existential encounters. And in that sense, these are, I think, remarkable tools, even if they don't necessarily give the simplistic messages that I think some people derive from them about, their place in the world, or what they should be doing, or what's really going on, or who's really in charge. That I think it's a little bit more complicated than that, but that their gift really lies in the stripping away of those kinds of beliefs or perspectives, and a kind of raw encounter with your own ongoing process, which is always inside of a world or inside of many worlds.